And that research was conducted by France's High Council for Gender Equality. And I'm very pleased to say that its president, Sylvie-Pierre Brossolette, joins me live on the programme. Thanks for joining us. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Can I ask you first of all about what seemed to me at least one of the most striking things in this report, which is that sexism in some ways in France is getting worse, not better, that young people, young men, can often be more sexist than their elders. What's going wrong?
It's a bit strange because we thought that normally with Me Too, with the fight for women's rights, since a few years there's progress in our rights for women, and everybody seems to be conscious that it's a good thing, equality. And in the same time, we've checked in our two reports, it was already in the report of last year, that sexism is really still very important, and particularly with the French young adults, men. And we explain it by one of the three causes of the sexism that we have highlighted this year. As you say, the sexism begins at home, it goes on at school, and it explodes on internet. And I think of the worst incubators, as we say. Internet is the one that is the worst for young men, because they have a model to perform sexual activities or treatment of women that is a disaster. Internet is an open bar to sexism. It's a school of sexism, because we've made a report on the most seen videos on internet, either YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. They are all completely sexist, and they show models of men very masculinist, women completely confined to maternity and seduction, and humor always against women that have really a bad time on internet. So with the increasing importance of internet in our lives, of course it has an incidence on mentalities and violence. So that's how I explain the bad report of today.
I was going to ask you that, actually. So do you make an explicit connection between this rise of sexism, particularly taking place online, and violence against women or violence enacted by men?
Yes, because sexism is a whole. It's what we call a continuum. It begins by stereotypes. It goes on with a sort of mild sexism, and then a little bit of violence, more violence, and even death. Sexism can kill. So that's why it's so important to fight it. Of course, because it's unjust and it's degrading for women, but also because it's so violent and dangerous. And this internet problem is not really understood by government, parliamentaries. It's new, you see. It's a long time we've been, that TV is controlled. We don't say it's a lack of liberty or creativity. If we say you can't put torture and violence, real violence, on TV, everybody accepts it. If you say you must stop torture in the porno videos and internet, people say, pornography, you must have some, and it's internet, it's liberty. No, it's danger. That's why we say we must do something, and we had a law passed in Parliament. I'm very, very proud of the role of our High Council in this matter. The MPs voted against the government that was afraid to change anything. And I persuaded, really, I think I made them cry and take conscious of the horrors that goes on internet with the pornography. And they voted the interdiction of the scenes of torture and incest and rape in internet. That would be a great progress. I hope the bill will be passed completely. We have to wait a few months. But there are really things you can do, and it doesn't cost anything. There's no budget in the problem. It's just political decision.
Sylvie Pierre Brossolette, there's so much more I'd like to ask you about this, but unfortunately we're out of time. I want to thank you, though, for talking to us a little bit here on the French channel of France 24. Sylvie Pierre Brossolette for us there, the President of France's High Council for Gender Equality.